Test. All right. Okay, we're live again. So I believe today we're going back to level design. But first I gotta test to make sure that the shield that I made in the last video works, because I made it, I made the mesh, I attached it to the player, I added it to the GUI. I never tested it. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do that today. First thing. Yeah, let's give it a shot. See if it runs or if it crashes. I would be to be honest, I would be surprised if it like somehow didn't work. Yeah, doesn't even show up there. Excuse me. Oh, okay. I think the problem is the save data. So right now the way that it works is that for each item in the equipment screen, except for the none buttons, the like, you know, the empty items that makes that unequip whatever you got. They check your the save data to see if they've been unlocked, and my guess is that they haven't been unlocked. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the item to this. So right now, here's a quick view of what is contained in my save data. A lot of this is actually like list stuff, so it gets dynamically added by the script. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change this from shield to blank shield. Save it, and then let's see if it works. So the reason I'm using JSON is because that way I can manually edit it like I just did, and then it'll load up. When the game is actually like in production mode, I will switch it over to BSON, which is like it's like my understanding is that it's like JSON, except for it's not stored in text. It's like a binary file. Well, technically text is binary. It's just that it's encoded as text. Ah, there we go. Oh, I just realized. It seems kind of like it worked, but I also just realized I forgot to do a thing on the. I forgot to do a thing with the player mesh. So on the left hand, and also the right hand, there's like a system in place that enables and disables the visibility of items. And I also have this for on the back. Hold on, I'm just gonna quickly copy this. Okay, chest attachment. So there's also a shield right here. This is like the original shield mesh that I made ahead of time when I was still in the process of testing. But now I have like an actual shield mesh that I can attach. So I'm gonna do that right now. Let me. I just did. Yeah, there it is. Just gonna move it into position. I don't know if you can hear that, but my laundry is going right now, making that sound. I don't know if the mic's picking that up, but if you hear any like background noises like that, just it's laundry machine. No one's breaking into my house or anything like that. Okay, I think this is a little bit big. It's a good size when it's on the player's back, or when it's on the player's like it's on its arm. But I think I'm gonna shrink down the mesh that's like up on his back. Not by too much. Actually, even that might be a little bit too big still. Problem is, if I shrink it down too much, the player is gonna notice that the shield is smaller when it's attached to when it's like on his back compared to when it's on his arm. Maybe I'll shrink this too. Oh, I shrunk the wrong part. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? I should be applying the scale to the original mesh, not on the imported. Oops, did not mean to do that. Put me back in perspective. Alright, back to Blender. Let's reopen that plank shield. And let's grab it, shrink it down a smidge. That's probably good. I think I had originally shrunk it down to this size before, and I thought it was too small. But I guess in hindsight, I'm thinking it's probably just the right size. Oh, and the hand texture disappeared. Oh yeah, I remember. I forgot to. Well, I didn't forget. I just neglected to save because I thought this would be like the final version. Hindsight, probably not the best idea. Oh, what's annoying is I can see the original texture in like in the thumbnail over here. When I select it, it's black. Oh, I wish there was a way to fix that. Nope. Yeah, I guess I never saved it. Any viewers? Nope. That is fine. I noticed that my viewer count has been going up. That is lucky for me. Also makes me a little bit nervous. I guess. Okay, so I know that the texture goes up over here because this is where it exists. So I think I need to. Yeah, I should be able to restore the texture. This is stored over here, and if I save it, make unique, save, field, blank, field, handle, and then PNG. I'm just gonna put it like over here or something. It's probably a good spot. Oh no, some of these are icons and some of these are other things. Man, I really need to figure out a good system instead of just this disorganized mess of like textures and icons. I'll put it over here. .png. Okay. So now I should be able to retrieve the texture in Blender. There we go. It's back. Save and export GLTF. Well, GLB, I guess. Include only selected objects. Remember, and back to the engine. Import meshes blank shield. Copy. Oh. And again, same problem as yesterday. I forgot to actually apply the scale. Yeah, should have done that. Okay. Can't save GLB files in Godot engine, so close without saving. Excuse me. Okay. There's the shield. Okay. Looking good so far. And I just remembered I need to actually attach like a blocking collider to the shield. Let's do that right now. I think I used areas. Ooh, here's a good opportunity to choose what kind of damage the shield can block. Oh, hello there. Hey, you've been in my Discord for a long time. How's it going? Let's say you can block everything except for fire. Okay. Golo Mogoth. Is that how you pronounce it? A little fat, but I probably make it bigger actually. Try to make it a little bit more forgiving. In my experience, most video games have hitboxes that are slightly bigger than the actual thing. Try to make things easier for the player. I don't know if that's the actual reason behind it, but oh, and I think I have to make it so that the shield actually like blocks things. Crap. Like I have to make it so that the collider is like dynamically enabled and disabled. Ah. Hmm. Man, so hard to find animations in this. I originally like used these numbers in the beginning to try to help sort like organize things, keep them sorted. It didn't work. How did I do this? Ugh, this is a big mess. Man, I can't remember how I actually enabled and disabled the shield. And when I say that, I mean like sorry, I had to check my phone. So when I say that, I mean like I don't want the shield collider to be active when the player isn't like raising the shield. I only want it to be active when they're like pressing the shield button. But I forgot how I did that. I don't remember what I did to do that. It's frustrating because I didn't do this all that long ago. It was pretty recent that I added this stuff. Hold on a second. Just gotta investigate. There's gotta be a script, there's gotta be like a function in here that did it. Using shield, blend them out. Sorry if this is kind of boring to watch. It's basically just gonna be me staring at things and thinking a lot. I'm 90% sure that there's a keyframe in one of these shield animations that controls the thing that I'm thinking of. It doesn't look like it. Maybe it deleted itself when I deleted the shield node. Hindsight, probably not the best idea. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, maybe else. think I might have to add this functionality back in. Okay. So I think what was going on is with that debug shield, not debug, that test shield that was like a square. I think one of these animations controlled not just the position of like the player's body, but also whether or not the shield collider was enabled. And I think that deleting that node was a kind of a mistake because I'm like 90% sure that when you delete nodes, it also deletes the reference to the node that's in the animation layer for any of these. I'm 90% sure that that happens. And in hindsight, I'm realizing that that wasn't the best approach because what happens when you have multiple shields? Well, then you got to have multiple of these animations for those multiple shields. And it would be better to have one that worked with all of them and then control whether the shield is like whether it's blocking or not in some other way. Not this one, this one, this one. So this is like this is the property that I want to toggle on and off as the player like presses right trigger at the shield. Yeah. Now I'm wondering what the best way to approach this is. I could just attach a script to this that turns on when the right trigger is held and turns off when it's not held. I feel like that's a kind of a bad idea though, because or it could be a good idea. It could be a good idea. Sorry if I'm not talking for a little bit. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think if it's a good idea or not. I don't really like it, but I think it might actually not be a terrible idea. Okay, I think I have an idea. So something that I can that's actually a decent idea. So at some point in during one of my streams, I added this is shield boolean and made it so that like if this body collider that is a shield like takes damage, so this area entered node is like activated when it touches it only works when like a damage collider touches it. So the idea is that if it is a shield, it returns and doesn't pass any damage to the health system, but it still processes knockback stuff. So I'm thinking of doing to so I'm thinking of doing to get around it, or not around this, is I'm thinking of actually getting rid of this and then making an extension of body collider that's like shield collider. It's like its own class. And then in that class, this is it should also have this function and actually I have to make this virtual. So it should have like a version of this that also checks to see if the shield is visible and if the player is holding the shield button. I think that's a decent idea. Yeah, yeah, I'll do that. There's something wrong with the chat because I'm only seeing this one message. Oh, never mind. Yeah, he's not there anymore. Rip. That's fine. Shield provider. Is there any audio? Yes, there is. Oh, so right now what I'm working on is so I'm trying to work on this shield again. I realized that the system that I had before wasn't scalable. So what I had before is I had like these animations that triggered the shield collider when the player presses the shield button. But I realized like at some point I might have realized it before, but like just now I realized that I have to make in order for that to work, I have to make different copies of that same animation for each version of the shield. And I'm definitely gonna add like multiple shields to the game. And so what I'm talking about specifically is this this is a collision shape. The idea is that it should be disabled when the player isn't using the shield, and it should be not disabled when the player is using the shield. And I was controlling this with an animation, I think, and I'm trying to change it so that it's not working that way. So I'm adding that functionality through a script instead of through animation, because I don't want to make like 15 different copies of each shield animation. It's just not a scalable approach. But because of that, I have to rewrite and change some things. Okay. And what kind of sucks is that a whole bunch of this code is stuff that I wrote years ago, and it's like I wasn't as good back then. So I'm kind of having to either rewrite or force myself to work with stuff that is probably not written. It's probably not written very well. I think I'm still probably I would still consider myself an amateur in terms of programming. I've only been like so technically speaking, I've been like writing code for about probably 7 years, but I've only doing it at like a professional level for about two. And when I say professional, I mean like in a more of a web design sort of manner. So it's completely different from this C sharp stuff. Continuous damager. I see. Yeah, I do think that I do think that I'm definitely better than I used to be because I used to take these weird approach. Yeah, good on you. We'll all find our way eventually if we just don't give up, right? If is instance valid, help the system. I'm constantly commenting out things that I'm constantly commenting out things that I'm like 90% sure that I don't want anymore, but I'm too scared to like completely erase them. So it ends up kind of making things look a little messy. I'm also kind of naively trying to do this thing where I write things to try to look like they should be intuitive to understand, so I don't have to write comments. But I don't think it's working. If area entered is damage collider, or if it's not damage collider, return. Otherwise, cast the area as a damage collider and continue. Uh, any play tests yet? A few years ago, I did one, but I don't think my project has been in any state to like have play tests on. Not yet, at least. I think when I'm done with this, I'll try putting one out, or at least with with this level. I've been moving stuff around in this area in ways I think kind of make a bit more. It's not so much that they make more sense. It's just that I think it would be more interesting to play. So the current objective of this level is to activate that loading zone and get out. So the player starts in the house. They go this way. They go over. They probably like explore a bit, and then they realize this area is blocked. I intend to put something here to block the player to prevent them from going up this way. So the player is forced to do this block pushing puzzle and then climb up this ladder that you can't really see because the mesh spawns in when like the player when the level is like spawned in. It like I'm pretty proud of it. It dynamically adds like rungs to the ladder based on the height. So the player ends up over here, and then they have to do. I'm thinking I'm moving this tower like over here somehow. So player does like this obstacle course. There's a bunch of signs that tell, kind of like that area in Ocarina of Time, Kokiri Forest. That's basically what this level is. It's the Kokiri Forest of this game. So like go through the obstacle course. Oh, there's trees in the way. And they get something, probably like either the shield or the sword. And then they get rid of whatever obstacle is over here. So my idea yesterday was to put like a truck here that's like stuck in the mud here. And the player has to pull the truck out of the way. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna get back to this monstrosity. It's not a monstrosity. I think it actually worked. I think it's actually kind of decent. It definitely helped that I took some university courses on writing code. Yeah, so I know like polymorphism and how that object-oriented stuff works. I know how to make like extensions of existing classes. So yeah. So in a way, like a shield is a type of body, like it accepts damage, but it doesn't do this. It doesn't behave the same way. So it does everything the same up until health system dot receive damage. Then it doesn't do anything like that. Yeah. Yeah. Good luck. Wish you luck on your journey. I would say that's definitely a good idea to if you haven't done already, try to get a good understanding of object oriented things like understanding how subclasses and superclasses inherit from each other. Also, interfaces. I don't think I've used any interfaces in this project, but an interface is like a thing where you enforce like a certain rules for what functions can exist on a class. I'm not going to make one right now to demonstrate. I'm sorry, but I can make it. Actually, no, I might as well at least try that. Okay. Okay. Do you know about like super classes? So I've done so pretty much any script that you make in Godot ends up being a super class of whatever this ends up being, like a type of node. It's like a body collider, it's a super class of area, and shield collider. Okay. And then shield collider is a super class of body collider. Everything that exists, which this means that everything that exists in this script also exists here. It's just not in text. But you can also override stuff that exists and add stuff onto it. Like for example, I turned it's kind of messy, but this script area entered, I made it virtual so that I can make a replacement version of it on this class. a good way of yeah, I'm trying to find a good way to articulate what I'm trying to say, but it's a good way to have a lot of yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to say now. Yeah, you can have like the same method in multiple classes, and you can have. Oh yeah, here's a good function or like a good instance of what I'm trying to say. So like, if I have like a reference to a body collider, I can assign a shield collider to that, and I can cast it. I could even cast it as a body collider, I think. No wait, no, I can't do that. I can't do that. But it's like what I'm trying to. I think what I'm trying to say is that damage collider is a type of area. Shield collider is a type of body collider. These are all things that I made. Except body collider, that's a. I mean, except area, that's a Godot thing. But it's a way of extending things to existing stuff. I think that's the only way I can explain it. That is, yeah. Uh, oh yeah. Okay, so if no, this is C sharp. I don't believe C has object-oriented functionality in it. It's like there's no classes in C. I've never actually used C. I don't really plan on it. I hear that it sucks. Or it's really fast, but it's like a pain to work with. But then it's like the bright side is everything you do in C is like it's done. I've never used it in my life, and I hope I never have to. Uh, does GD script have super classes? I have no idea. I haven't used GD script in so long. I assume that it must because I'm assuming that it must because if you make a script that's like attached to this, it becomes a type of that, which makes it a superclass. I think superclass is probably not the best word to use. Probably think of it as a type of other thing. It's like a class is like a blueprint that defines what an object is, and you can make another class. It's like a type of that class. So one example that I was taught in university was you could have a class for a shape, and you could have a class for a triangle and a class for a square. And a triangle is a type of shape, and a square is also a type of shape. And then you can have like a generic get area function for shape, and then you can have a version of that for triangle and square. You can create a reference to a shape, and you can assign either a triangle or a square to that shape slot. It's like, okay, no, I'm not gonna write an example. And then if you can call get area for whatever is in that um, shape slot, and it will use the appropriate version based on what class, based on which type of object you have, whether it's a triangular shape, it'll use the appropriate function to get the area for that shape. I feel like I'm using too many words to describe like a very, very simple Well, it's not super simple. It's not. It's like I think it's simple because I've done it for a few years already. But I feel like an internet search would probably clear it up. They'd probably be better at explaining it. I think I'm using too many words to explain it. Okay. Yeah. 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 I'm gonna get back to work on getting this. Oh, hold on a sec. If not visible, turn if if you've already been like writing GD script code and you've been using like classes, you've technically already been using superclasses. I might actually be getting it backwards. I might actually be thinking of subclasses and then superclasses are like the other way around. Yeah, I might be explaining it like backwards. Yeah, I'm not like a like don't think of me as a teacher. I'm just telling you what I think I know based on what I remember. I think theoretically this should work. Knockback stuff. Just gonna see if there's anything I should remove. Yeah, keep at it. I'm probably gonna end the stream in about 8 minutes because it's just I don't know. It's just what I do. I start at like 5 p.m. where I live, and then I end at 6 p.m. where I live. I think I'm also doing some kind of advanced stuff that you probably don't need to do. That probably wasn't necessary. Like has flag. Yeah. That is a that is a bitwise operation, I think. It allows me to make my own layer system, which is kind of nice. bullet scan. Bullet scan is basically a raycast thing that does damage. Just, oh yeah, I forgot to continuous damager. Yeah, see, I knew that deleting this was a bad idea. I should have just kept it commented out. So I was gonna copy it over here. I needed to remember that. Yeah, exited. Don't need that. It already exists because this inherits that. I'm just replacing this. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay. Let's build and see if it works. Oh, very, very, very long. I actually have no idea. I'm hoping that part 1 will be like 45 minutes. Realistically, probably like 20 minutes if you're like doing a second playthrough. Okay, I think this should actually work in theory. Part 1, 6 hours. Oh, or you mean like the whole game? So the idea that I have for the first part is the player, the introduction cutscene plays, the player like learns how to play, then he call to action. Oh, part 1. Wow. I don't know if that's realistic, but the alien dudes that they're like native to the planet, they like call for help because the invaders are here. You go to help them out, and then maybe they take you to their home first, and then they take you to the first dungeon. You do the first dungeon, and then that cutscene that I made like a few years ago plays. That I'll probably update that cutscene to be more in line with what I've done. Like with the bald alien lady thing that the player takes the helmet off during the cutscene. I don't know if you remember that. I think you watched that. I think I recall seeing you in the comments section there. Okay, I'm just gonna quickly test and make sure the shield works. Oh no, I have to spawn in an enemy. Yeah, yeah. I've actually changed the design for that species slightly. I'm making them slightly more lanky. So yeah, yeah. Slightly taller, a bit more lanky. Plant enemy. Here you go. Oh, whoops. One thing that's a little bit annoying about Godot is that Yeah. I haven't actually been playing video games a lot recently. I mean, I have, but like nothing new. I've been playing like Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War from like 2003. What else have I been playing? Oh yeah, I picked up like a SCP Containment Breach. Played that a bit again, right, from 2012. Okay, okay. And I'm just gonna see if my shield works, and then I'm gonna quit the stream because it's 6 o'clock. It's technically time to stop because it's supper time. Wait, what are you looking? What are you doing? Mr. Plant, you're facing the wrong way. What is going on? Oh, that's what's going on. He's rotated 180 degrees, and for some reason, I programmed it. I programmed the rotation into the animation itself. Yeah. So he's automatically facing. Yeah. Let's see if my shield blocks things. No, it didn't work. Oh, I see the problem. What I should do, put this over here. Oh, no, 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 no. I'm doing the wrong thing. Public override. Right. I'm gonna keep the stream going until I get this one thing working. Process. Eh. What are you talking about? Completely forgot that the very thing that I was trying to do in the first place, and that is disable and enable the collider. And now I'm remembering that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm grabbing the collision shape. I'm basically just copying code that I already wrote that I know does what I want to do. So this assigns the collision shape at the start, and then collision shape disabled equals true. If visible, oh, I'm typing in the dark and I can't see the symbols on the. There we go. think this should work. Let's give it a shot. What? It didn't work. Oh. There's another thing that I forgot. Of course. And you probably wouldn't know this, but I made it so that all damage detection is done on a specific layer. And I forgot to move this to that layer. I should probably make it so that it assigns to that itself to that layer by script. Please work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Okay, what's going on? Huh. So this never gets turned to false. But why not? Oh, it's because I'm checking the wrong button. Of course. Okay, so you can see that it's switching from true to false. So I'm gonna put the shield out. Let's see if this works. Moment of truth. Didn't work. You kidding me? It's not working. So I know that this is I know that this is working. Question is, oh, right. Debug on. Okay, so it looks like it's just never coming into contact with it for some reason. It's the mask? I'm gonna put this on and see if that if that changes anything. No way. Is that it? Okay. I think I figured it out. I'm like 50% sure that this is what's causing it. These were all unchecked, vulnerable to, and then that stuff. Wait, no. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That basically determines what kind of damage that body collider will receive. And a shield is a type of body collider, so it's should be vulnerable to quote to certain things. But by having all those unchecked, the shield isn't vulnerable to anything and therefore isn't blocking anything. Vulnerable to is probably the wrong choice of words. Should probably change it to accepted damage. But yeah, all of those were unchecked. Let's see if it works now. Crap. Okay. Maybe this? Maybe the mask has to be that? I'm grasping at straws here now. Still took damage. Yeah. Uh, definitely going overtime today. I'm not ending the stream until I figure this out. No, I don't think I will. I didn't follow any tutorials when making this particular thing. Nah. Just need to figure out why shield. Maybe if I make it bigger? Is it because I think it might be because this is never called? So I'm thinking that the area entered signal is never connecting with the area entered function. It's supposed to. So I'm using signals for that. Hey! It worked. Oh. It was that thing. It was the whole time. The whole time. Well, I'm happy now. Valid damage collider, not previously blocked. Valid damage, blocked. Okay. It was the area entered signal is supposed to be connected with the area entered function that I had written, but it never was. So this ready function goes to base is ready, and then it connects the area entered signal to this function. Area entered is a built-in Godot signal that exists over here. You can assign it either in the editor, or you can assign it through script. By the way, if you intended on doing this yourself at some point, I recommend using GDScript if you're like new to writing code. Because the only reason I'm using C# is because it's what I always used to use when I used to use a Unity engine, and then I stopped like 3 or 4 years ago because I didn't like the direction that the company was going in. But I stuck with C# because it's the language that I know. But yeah, it's the same sort of idea. You can connect signals either in the editor. It's a lot of nodes have like their own built-in signals. And then I have this custom one called onHit. You can connect signals either to the editor. Okay, good. Or you can use this function here to connect a signal through script. It's going to look different, a little bit different in GDScript, but yeah, you can connect. Yeah, to learn to use it through Python. Okay. So pretend that this is over here. So it basically is, because that's what this does. It calls everything in here. Yeah, I'm gonna end the stream now because I didn't quite do what I set out to do, but I did make progress, and yeah, I'm like 20 minutes over time. So yeah, have a good night. I'll see you maybe next stream, possibly. Or not, it doesn't really matter. I won't take it personally. Have a good night.